Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late here. I was over on another person's live watching it, and I got caught up in it because they have themselves a cute Pyrenees dog like London, and I was giving them some advice. So, how are you guys all doing? Grand Rising. Hopefully, you guys are doing great this morning. It is Monday, if you want to go by the construct of time and be in this simulation and all of that, but otherwise, it's just another moment at this time in this grand risings. The sun is out, so that's what matters. And hopefully you guys have had a grand and great meditation. So I want to talk to you guys about some of us that have gone through this a journey of awakening. And some of us talk about it like it's a light thing, and I'm just going to tell you it is not, okay? Going through the journeys of spiritual awakening is something that turns you into the floor of goo on the ground before you become the butterfly that flies. And before we get to this place of even becoming untouchable, we're not really. Let me explain what happens to us. I want to talk about the spiritual untouchable and the journey into the inner sovereignty. Have you noticed those of us that have truly awakened, gone through the intensity, gone through the shadows, not just thought but embodied it, truth, seem like they're untouchable, that the world is still chaotic around them, but nothing seems to come near their tent? Well, the truth is they are untouchable, but it's not exactly the way you think. See, it's not because life stops throwing storms at them. They get them. Trust me. I'm one. I have storms happen all around, but I stay in calm and peace. It's because the storms actually no longer uproot us. This is not immunity at all. It is called mastery. It's because we know the truth of our existence. We went through the intensity of our hard things that were in the way. See, I lost everything in my life to find myself. What? Yeah. I know this truth, and when I died and when I went through my existence, I still had to return into this cell body memory. And I knew the truth because I lived it. I experienced it. You see, it wasn't because of some book I read or because, I know so many times people go like, man, you sound like Carl Jung. You sound like so-and-so. Did you read so-and-so's book? No, I am actually dyslexic, so I didn't read those books at all, really. I've skimmed through them and I read bits and pieces and parts, and I didn't start doing that till after I'd already written my third book and already been teaching all of these things. So the thing is this. I have to work really hard to read, but not anymore. It's kind of bizarre because the thing is that we get to rewire and reset our bodies. But the thing is, I had to lose everything. And I had to come to this place where everything around me collapsed. I lost everything. The illusions, the comforts, the people that I thought I needed, the people that said, I am going to be there no matter what, until the day you leave this existence and no longer exist here. And they're not here. And I had to walk through these things. I had to go through an experience that most humanity doesn't go through and come back into this body that held cell memories of traumas and all these things. And so I shot myself into the desert for like 7 months, banded away from all society and people. And the world would tell you that to fight harder for those things to come back, but I decided not to. And the world would tell you to go scramble, and the world would tell you to go chase, and the world would tell you to survive, but I didn't. I chose to look at the depths of the mirror, and instead I shut the world out and I went in. Not to escape, not to numb, but to face the chaos and the shadows that were mine. They weren't anyone else's. And so I didn't need to be pointing my finger or looking for anybody else. This was not easy. It was not pretty even. It was raw, it was painful, and it stripped me down to my bones. And every wound I buried rose up inside like a storm inside me. And I had to face this war within. And every memory, every lie that I believed about this existence in this place, every scar I had hidden in my life, I had to look. And here's the paradox. When you stop running from yourself, the shadows stop chasing you. And when you face them, they look and they lose their teeth and they don't look as scary as what you thought they once were. And when you stop the war from inside, the war outside lost its power over me and then became peace. So then I could walk in the midst of storms, and they could even attempt to harm me, but they would come nowhere near my tent. You see, neuroscience calls this integration. Trauma lives in the nervous system, and it's this unprocessed loop that fights, flights, and freezes. And when you face it, when you look at it, it rewires the brain. You move from survival into this conscious creation mode. And this vagus nerve steadies. And you become like a rock. And the heart rhythm stabilizes. And you can have irrhythm heart rates, and they're no longer like that. And when you reface it, you rewire the brain, you move the survival mode into the conscious creation, and that nerve steadies, the rhythm stabilizes, and the immune system strengthens. And those who suffer and struggled with health, their body corrects itself. And that's why you see someone like me who can medically documentally show you that I literally have a body that says I'm supposed to be in a wheelchair, paralyzed from the neck down, and have myself a trachea to help me breathe, but yet I walk and defy science every day. And just not too long ago, I got told I was on the bridge between coma and death, and here I stand. I don't know what it's looking like yet. I gotta get the blood work, find out. But I feel like I beat it. Why? When everything said no. Adrenals collapse is a serious thing. It happens to a body and you don't. And yet here I am. Physics echoes the same truth. The observer effects tells us that when you collapse the wave, the inner chaos into the single point of awareness, you alter the field around you. You are energy. So the storm no longer dictates the reality, your consciousness does, and therefore you have a rod of steel down your spine and nothing will come against your tent. Not even death, because it don't exist. See, the Stoics knew it, and strength is not found in controlling life, but in controlling self. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have the power to over your mind, not just the outside events, and you realize this, and you will find strength. Lao Tzu, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but he said, conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty. And when I went inward, let me just tell you, I stopped. I stopped being a prisoner of myself, my own reactions, and I became a master of choice. You can't touch me. I know who I am. And my energy, I know how to use it. See, the Gnostics understood that this world is a construct, a prison, an illusion called Kanoma. It's designed to keep you looping in fear, desire, and distraction. And when you awaken within yourself, you step into the pleroma and the fullness, the real, the archeons, the forces, the chaos, the control. You feed on the unhealed wounds. And when you stop warring within, then they stop. There's nothing there to hook you now, is there? Not a single thing. I mean, nature even shows us this, and it was funny because people always said to me, get strong like the oak tree. So I decided to look up the oak tree, and what did that look like? Well, the oak tree, you know what it does? It digs its roots so deep when a storm comes that you ain't moving the sucker. Not the weaker ones. It's not the weaker ones. The oak is not a weaker one. See, the caterpillar, you know what it does? It cocoons, and then it goes this dissolving of goo, and before it becomes this butterfly. It's the doorway to freedom. Goo is the doorway to freedom. I had to realize that. Holy crap, you got to look at your shadows, because turning it into goo is the doorway to freedom. It is the doorway out. It is a tiny hole. The river, the stone, the awakened do not resist the water. They allow the current to pass while remaining anchored into the riverbed, right? The untouchable state, when you do the inner work, the storms still come, but they no longer uproot you, and you see right through the manipulation, and it stops working on you, and you're like, yeah, I see you. And then when you say I see you, they just turn around and tell you the truth. It's crazy. I'm not even joking. I've gotten to witness this over and over again. See, you remember who you are, and you become free. And then you can throw that negative energy up against the wall and make the light shake. You choose healing over revenge, and you walk through loneliness and transmute it into solitude. You face the abyss and you rise, and that's the amazing thing. And the spirituality, your spirituality becomes untouchable, and you are not numb. We are just awakened. We are not immune. We are not immune to the storms. We just have become the eye of the storm, and that's where the strength remains. You see, the state is rare because it's exclusive, but because few are willing to walk through the fire without turning back. But for those who do, the reward is not escape life, but is sovereignty within it. You see, the storm will still rage, but you will remain unmoved, unbroken, fully alive, because you have built your sanctuary within, and nothing, no storm, no system, no shadow can take it from you. You become the raw steel down the spine, and you stand. And you stand in joy, grace, mercy. And you go from being the one no one wanted in the room to the one everyone wants in the room. And you're going from not having wings to soaring. Sometimes quite literally. Know your value. Know your truth. Know who you are. And stay rooted and grounded. Peace and love. Make sure you do one thing towards your dreams every single day. It brings you one step closer. Make sure you recognize you're valuable and you matter, and you're all unique puzzle pieces, a part of the ultimate puzzle of the cosmos. And by the way, tomorrow we will be on at 6:30 p.m. We will not be on in the morning, so make sure you take note of that. Peace and love.